right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Devilman Crybaby, episode 7. Okay, only
Right.
3 episodes left after this. The stadium has erupted in blood, chaos, and death and horror.
Rio's cake is proceeding as
Keikaku.
according to Caked. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
And Coda is being lifted up into the sky, to the moon, by Akira, who is saying, I'm going to save you because you're a Devilman.
Yeah, neither demon nor human.
Right.
So yeah, we are in the crazy world now where everyone knows.
Right.
And this is what Rio wanted.
Which is like, okay, so what's his plan exactly?
Yeah, so we have all our theories and stuff, but this show covers so much ground in just, an episode. Let's just get into this episode.
Yep, that sounds good.
So y'all, without further ado, let's just jump right into it. All right, everyone, we're going to start the episode in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. Oh, yeah, not yet. Wait for it. All right, Rio.
Yeah.
All right, Rio.
That shot, though.
I know.
What is he planning? And that almost looked like a spider.
We've talked about this. I'm just choosing to just kind of read between the lines and not pay attention to it.
It's a Rorschach thing. So,
yep, exactly. You see what you want to see.
Yep.
Have you ever taken one of those tests?
Yeah.
Yeah?
No, not
oh,
really.
Okay, gotcha.
Or, well, no, yeah, online.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if that counts, but...
Right. Okay. Yes, the beatboxing.
It's like they're the recap team
They are.
For this show.
Wow, that was a good line. Whoa. Dang. Wow. Whoa. Dang, the world has changed so much.
Whoa.
Dang.
Staying home and...
Oh my god. Whoa. Wow, weak humans, wise demons. Oh my god.
That's quite the start to an episode.
Oh my god. Oh my god, this is dystopic to the max. Here we go. There's a time skip there, basically. What was it supposed to be like, Akira? You gonna confront him finally? Oh my god. I mean, yeah.
Wow.
Oh. 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 I was literally talking about this. About.
And the fact that he stopped on the divine, like,
Yeah.
maybe he
hasn't
is the
posted
angel, you know?
Mm-hmm.
No, this is a battle between the angels and humans. Wow.
Oh my god. Who said there was human blood in his veins? Yeah.
Wow.
Whoa. Dang. So,
Okay.
Akira did save him. Awesome. Yeah. Wow. Nice.
Oh, man.
Yeah, you're the face of this whole thing. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a very particular choice.
Yeah, yeah. Whoa.
His eyes look different.
Yeah.
Like he's probably already turned.
I think it's a stylistic thing, but yes, it is something to keep in mind. Oh.
He's going to kill all of them.
Yeah. They keep showing us the wholesomeness of their family only, and it's just like...
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Just casually talking about it, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Oh, cool. Okay. Wow.
Yep, had a feeling that was gonna happen.
Yeah.
The booty.
Yes. Yeah. Dang. Wow. Jeez.
Okay.
Oh my god. All right. Well. And oh, just going from room to room, taking what you can,
Sure.
possibly.
Oh, come on.
Wow. Oh. Oh.
Oh boy.
Of course, this happens. Hey. Haha.
Yeah.
Wow. Anyone who resists us must be a demon. Yep.
Yeah.
You could say they're demonizing anyone who's different. Yeah. This is a
All
cool
the tracks
track.
in this show
Yeah.
are so good.
Uh-huh. Mermaid. Uh-huh. Nice.
Brooding.
Oh, whoa. Oh.
Wow.
Jeez. Oh,
Okay.
she stumbled into this area. Yeah, yeah. Hey.
What's up?
Whoa.
We'll bang, okay?
I mean, he might not be into that. Oh, crap.
Oh, boy.
Jeez.
Mm-hmm.
And who's feeding them that intel? Yep, yep.
Wow.
Whoa. Jeez. Yeah, yep, yep. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Crap.
Oh, man.
No.
So that's how it's gonna happen. It's not gonna be... It's not gonna be... Oh, wow. It's gonna be the humans.
Yeah.
Oh. Yep, the whole family. Yeah.
Crap. Yeah. No. No.
Oh, boy.
He's eating the dog.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh, boy.
Oh. Yeah. Oh. Oh. No.
Oh, man.
We need to talk.
Yeah.
Ugh. Whoa. Yeah.
So is this all a plan to just get rid of humans?
Yep. 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 Oh my god, Rio, what is wrong with you? Like, this doesn't... Whoa. Why did you then?
Oh.
Wait, crap.
Hold on a second.
Hold
on a second.
Did they just...
Wait a minute.
Did they just...
Wait a minute.
Did they just drop the 666?
So he's not just, like, metaphorically...
Wait, whoa, and then bring up the Bible multiple times in this.
Wait. Seriously?
Oh my god. Cause he's... Cause he's...
Yeah.
Oh. No. Oh. And she has to lie, otherwise... Yeah. Crap.
He's going to die.
Well...
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Well, now we've left the physical plane, Jacob.
Yep.
We've got God and the devil and...
Yeah. You're actually Satan.
Well.
All right, here we go.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Wow. So wait. So those things falling behind Rio were nukes in the opening.
Yeah.
No way.
Whoa. What?
Wait a minute. What was that?
Supernatural power.
Or another nuke that went off, or no?
No. Wow.
Holy crap. Wait.
What is happening? Oh my god!
I thought the last episode was a WTF, but no. Okay.
It's an engine.
Well, yeah, but
Okay. 666.
Yeah, he's the Antichrist.
He's basically like the reincarnation of Satan, basically. Yeah.
Like they literally started going into Revelations and stuff. Yeah. Like, okay.
Well. All right. I am very much excited to see what happens next, because here's the thing. This is bigger than even like Akira and Rio now.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Okay.
We have a couple questions.
Just a few.
First, what was that?
Which part?
The white
The white light turning everyone into salt and stuff. Like, yeah, there's that. That's
so
a thing.
So hold on. Like, we have basically God and the devil, Satan or whatever, now just like, okay, we're gonna fight over this world, basically.
Right. So is it supposed to be that like Rio is the reincarnation of the devil, but then this is like an act of God basically saying, this is too much, there needs to be a cleansing or whatever. And
okay, here's where I see it now. We have to think about this from the motivations of Rio and Akira. Akira has so far been a reactionary protagonist, but now he's starting to gather the Devilmen.
Yes.
Here's the thing that is interesting about that. Rio doesn't want that. Now, he's saying Rio doesn't want that specifically because they're going to fight the other, the demons, basically, demons. Now, here's where I see this as being an issue. I didn't clue in quick enough that the organization was actual demons. They were actual demons. Because here's the thing that separates the Devilman from the demons themselves, right? Demons are people that are hiding out amongst the planet and stuff, right? And they are insidious and trying to keep, their form a secret so that they can cause humanity to destroy itself, basically. But the thing is that they've been waiting for a long time, right? So that's just been a thing that's always been an issue. But Devilmen basically are the human heart with the devil body.
It's the they brought up the whole idea of the Sodom and Gomorrah and all that stuff, and the pillar of salt and everything, but it's the Abraham question of if there were 10 good men. Like if there were 10 righteous people.
You're jumping to something else here. I don't really want to discuss that right now. If you wouldn't mind, the thing I'm curious about is this basically just confirmation at this point that Rio is stirring this up because he wants them all to just wipe each other out, or is it that he's feeling like compelled to do this and he's not exactly sure why? Like, this is something that is like, is this something where he envisioned it this way because his fear at seeing potentially what could be God's power being used is something where I'm like, wait, did he know this was coming?
Okay, so I feel like with the whole Rio thing, there's the aspect that would make me want to wonder, okay, is this something where there's a duality within Rio as well, and there's the part of him that's the devil, and there's the part of him that's just a person, and whatever, and maybe there's some confusion there. But because the craziness that level of craziness did seem to kind of come out of nowhere. But when the thing happened and he was freaking out, that could also just be something where it's like, okay, there's a new player involved, and because the fact is that they brought up very specific segments from the Bible, and like whenever you do that kind of stuff, that's intentional, right? And there was the whole thing of Satan basically getting bested by God and cast out of heaven, right? So that I feel like that was the reason they brought that up, was because this is God doing this, I guess,
right?
Which is
It's like, okay,
how are they gonna okay, how many episodes are left again? Like how are they gonna do this?
They've got three more episodes left. So what I see it as is that Rio's trying to induce the apocalypse,
right?
And specifically like the biblical apocalypse, where God is going to judge and wipe out humanity. And I think Rio wants that because in some way maybe you're right in that there will be survivors. Maybe there will be specific survivors, but I think he doesn't really care about other survivors as long as Akira is a part of that, maybe.
Right.
And that's the thing of like, what would the new humanity look like?
Right, and that might be what it is. Because if you're to take, because okay, the fact that they made that whole connection with Ryu being the devil, that's not something like that the whole 666 thing above the elevator, that's not something that is just like a thematic undertone thing. That's like straight up saying, no, he's actually the devil. Like, he is actually Satan, right?
You're actually Satan.
Yeah.
You said that earlier. That's a good reference.
So they could go the angle of that you don't really need to think about his motivations because he's just actually Satan, or
I think you do need to more.
But I would say the way you can is that the whole idea of Satan is that the idea of wanting to be God, right?
Okay.
So if it's something where and wanting to rule and stuff, so if you get rid of humanity and stuff and basically wipe everything away to the point where it's almost a blank slate, then whatever starts over, you can be in complete control over, right?
But how
would that work?
More so, I'm just saying, how does Akira fit into all of this?
Right. How does Akira fit into it?
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe what he was trying to do is this is what it could be.
Okay,
is that he saw Akira and he's like, okay, Akira is probably the most incorruptible person I know.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to take him and I'm going to try and twist him first as the first step, because if I can do that, then I know I can conquer humanity completely.
Okay. That seems too simple.
Okay,
because the fact that he said, I don't want you gathering the Devilmen and fighting the demons. Right. I didn't make you a Devilman for that. And he just went like he
let slip that he intended to make him a Devilman
for something else, or just that he meant to do it at all.
Intended to do that. Yeah, I think that's what it mainly is, because taking him to the party and stuff, that was something where it's like, getting footage about these demons and whatnot, but the thing of him turning, that was very much Rio's plan. And that's why they had the line at the beginning. It's because it's the fact that it was Rio's plan. You know.
This is something that kind of puts a whole new light on the show right as of now, is just that Akira has kind of assumed some good things about Rio, but also that like there was something else that was the goal here. And I think that the goal, and this is something that I'm curious about, is that I think the goal is something that was spoken about post episode 1. Because no, it's not actually at all. No, it's said actually in the car on the way to the thing in episode 1. Rio's like, I'm going to present all this to the world. I'm going to make them all know about the existence of demons and what have you. And Akira is all like, that seems like a really good, noble goal. So anything that comes from the place since that, Akira is too naive to see how that's actually just a really horrible idea for humanity. So then once he sees the result of it, Akira in his naivete has to like rectify, or has to reconcile in his head, wait, Rio is smart. He planned this.
This is happening. He doesn't seem disappointed that this is happening.
Right. So is this all as he wanted? So now he finally feels the need to confront him because he sees the results of this. But Akira was so naive that he saw the goal of using Akira as the means by which to instigate this whole thing as a good thing. Like Akira missed out on that. And we're just smart enough, I guess, that we're just like, well, obviously.
Sure. Yeah.
Obviously, that's not a good idea.
Now,
I mean, we have like dystopic future.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Witch hunts and everything going on
and
right
the
now.
speed at which this show moves is absolutely fantastic. Highlight for me from this episode though was the whole thing with the younger brother. And the dog, because the thing is, like, okay, a lot of the stuff that's happened in this show has been just so overwhelmingly bad, you know, like just horrible that it's like, how can you really think about it even, you know, you kind of just have to, you know, whatever. But with that, the idea that he was still very much, you know, a kid, and she's just thinking, what do I do? Like, I need to save him. I need to keep him safe. I need to take care of him. What do I do? Right. And then she takes him away, and he's scared. And then they go to the church place, and it's, what was it talking about?
Sodom and Gomorrah.
Right, but the people going to the house and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, and that's just like, oof.
Basically hunting down those that seem different. You know?
Yep. Yeah.
Which in that story ends up being the people that decide whether or not that city or cities ends up being, you know, worthy of existing, which is pretty terrifying to think about. So that, like, basically in this case, we're having a similar situation reappear where it seems like God has determined,
well, right, but but even in that story, it wasn't the people that would determine that that, like, you know, the city was to be destroyed. It was,
well, they were just vessels for the determination process. I mean,
well, no, not even the determination process. It was just, okay, get out of here. I'm gonna nuke the place.
Oh, right. Basically, you know, the warning people, but you're right. I mean, you're right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I forgot how the story goes. Yeah.
But in this case, they have 3 episodes left. They kind of just dropped a bombshell,
literally a spiritual supernatural bombshell.
Yeah,
because that was not a nuke. That encompassed that encompassed like North America,
right?
Basically, the equivalent of like an entire section of the world, just like a continent. Just
and
got
they showed that helicopter with the dude inside. He didn't get blown to pieces. He turned to salt and crumbled.
Yeah.
So
he got dusted. He got
so the question is like, okay, Rio cannot be trusted. However, there is also a greater threat in a lot of ways than Rio.
Yeah.
So how is that going to get resolved? Is it going to be like both Akira and Rio, you know, duking it out, or teaming up to fight against God, you know, and be like, hey, humanity's worth it, or something, or is that going to be the point of the Devilman? Like, because when I think about it, okay, the whole idea that Akira and Rio knew each other since they were kids, right? Yeah. And the duality and stuff, the duality between them has been very intentional, right? And the fact that it's like that, and the fact that apparently Rio is the devil, then that means that, okay, what's Akira? Right? Because he's clearly something. So is he the one that will try and, I don't know, like is he the one that will try and gather the 10 righteous, you know, people to, or whatever?
I don't know why you're on that thing there, because it's like he's got the heart of a human, right? But any human could fulfill that role. He's gathering Devilmen. He's gathering the hybrids, basically.
Right.
Now, they all have hearts of humans, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're good. Like Miko as a, you know, runner. Like, are we talking about people?
Sure. So right. Okay. So not the. Yeah. Okay. Right.
He's gathering people to fight the demons. Now, by fighting the demons, that might be something that makes him worthy. But so far, they've been trying to make the point of actually that the only people so far in this story that seem to be worthy of some kind of saving are Akira, Miki, and her family.
Right.
And they're like, the family just split up. Like, this is not good.
Yeah. Right. So then what they could be going at is the whole question of since, like, the whole question of, well, no one's righteous, so why hasn't God smote everyone already? Because what they're doing here in this story with the devils is a very clear parallel to the inner, like, you know, demon inside of all of us, you know, and humanity and stuff. right?
Okay.
So the fact that they're doing this, right, and that the focus is on the Devilmen, right? You know, because that's right. It's not the family. It's not the family. It's the Devilmen. It's the people that have all these issues and stuff, but still have that human heart to them, right? It's the idea that humanity is more than just, you know, a simple binary of good or evil.
So it still works in what you're saying in that.
But yeah, righteousness
could have people that could have the corruption and still retain their humanity,
because it
that's
gets
what
back
you're saying,
right? Because it gets back to that whole idea of choice. Because you know, the idea of, you know, if God really wanted a righteous world, he could have just snapped his fingers and made everyone robots that are righteous, right? And if he snapped his fingers and Thanos'd everybody, right? So the question is, why are we still here if you know, a god like that exists that desires something, right? That isn't just passive. What's the goal? And if it's simply the ability to choose, right, that given the, you know, the things, the fact that we can choose is what's most important, then okay, cool. How are they going to resolve this though? Because that big nuke salt thing happened.
Yeah. So I think this is all very mechanical. I think you're right on the money with some philosophical stuff, but I think this is way more mechanical than that.
Okay.
Rio is forcing the apocalypse.
Yes.
The reason why he's forcing the apocalypse and the reason why he's doing this is mechanically shown by the nature of that the demons were going to wipe out humanity. Basically, God, if you will, intervened and basically made a move. Why? We'll find out why, but I see it as some form of judgment or some form of just exacting right-handed power. And I think Rio intended for that to happen. Basically, I'm going to make things so bad, because if you think if you think of him as the devil, what greater kind of you know, dick punch or, you know, kind of middle finger, you know, flipping off God could you do rather than make him wipe out his own creation?
Right. Yeah.
So there you go.
Right. Okay.
And the reason why I think he's freaking out is just that he's actually seeing it happen.
He's like,
it just goes beyond his comprehension.
Right. It's the idea that it's like, I mean, I wanted this, but like
I didn't know what it actually would look like.
It's actually working, and like it's still terrifying to see.
Yeah.
You know. Okay.
Or he's also realizing that he rolled a natural 20 on his survival check of which side of the planet God nuked, basically, because he happened to not be in the section that got just Thanos, you know, just got dusted. Yeah. So okay. This was episode 7.
Yeah,
this episode 7.
3 whole episodes. Like, this is 2/3 of the way through. What?
No, we're going full Evangelion.
Oh yeah,
we're going full Evangelion.
Yep.
So like things like supernatural whatevers and alternate dimensions and crazy godlike powers and, you know, all that's happening. That's happening already.
Yep.
Now, the human side, I think, was really shown here in how scared we all get when we are faced with something that we don't understand. That was very much explored this episode.
Absolutely.
And I think that might be something 100%. That we want to explore a little bit before we jump to the how is humanity, like, you know, saved throughout all this. Because I think what they're trying to bring up in a little bit of ways is that we don't know whether or not humanity is worth saving until we're actually in this type of a situation. The rappers, I think, are kind of the key to this whole thing.
Yeah,
They're basically showcasing what the human response is in the recap exposition rap kind of beatbox thing.
It's absolutely fantastic because it's not just exposition. It also goes into the themes of the series and, you know, but then it also, you know, it's like, hey, we just did a like bit of a time skip. Yes. What's the state of the world right now? And
then we see it in multiple different ways.
Yep.
But one of the things that I think is interesting to bring up is that the people that were wholesome before aren't necessarily still wholesome. The Devilman kid, while he has the heart of a human, I would say, for now and such, we were getting foreshadowed about him basically slowly becoming enamored with the whole side of this thing by going into the computer and logging into Akira's account. Yes.
Yeah.
Now, that's something where I don't see that as necessarily evil. Like, that's just the corruption of humanity getting exacerbated by the stress of this whole thing.
Sure.
But the thing is, there are people that aren't getting corrupted, even though they are, encountering all
right. And is that a thing if they're not getting corrupted yet, or they're not just going to get corrupted ever or whatever? Because, like, a lot of people would say that the most human thing humans can do is make mistakes, that we're not monotone, right?
Yeah.
Like there are changes and stuff, good and bad, right? And whatever you want to call which is what and stuff, leave that to the philosophers, but that happens, right? And the idea that there would be people that are seemingly separate from that, like it was beginning to crack, because suddenly mom's like, okay, I gotta take care of my boy, what am I gonna do? I'll just go, we'll just get in the car and we'll go.
I don't think it has anything to do with her like not trusting her family to be able to handle this. It's that I don't want to bring this problem over to them.
Right. Yeah.
Now, what I'm seeing is potentially a thing with having the corruption of humanity being explored so much here, is that they're trying to point us, I think, towards the eventual conclusion that we all get corrupted at some point. Right. There's all of us have something that ends up getting tinged with darkness, ends up getting touched by the I would say the more carnal kind of getting overwhelmed by our desires, essentially, like Akira was when he was horny and hot and bothered and all that. Basically, there are people out there that succumb essentially to their desires and, like you said, lose their free will in some ways. It's not that they lose it, but they choose to deny it enough that they live reactionarily. Like
the shadow proofs the sunshine. So in order for the there needs to be variation, otherwise there would be no value in what's there, right? Like, because so like with the whole thing of like people being able to be corrupted and all that stuff, it's like, well, yeah, of course, like that's like that, right? That's the point. We're people, know,
we're fallible.
Yeah, So
given that we are all corruptible, I think the point of this show is not about having anyone formed as some special group that are going to be basically the beacons by which humanity will be saved. No, humanity will all be basically corrupted. Akira, Miki, the family, everyone. And what's going to happen is basically, I think this is kind of Rio's, maybe he doesn't know it yet because he seems to have some part of him that's not necessarily, like he might be consciously aware that he's the devil, but I'm not sure 100%. He might be an incarnation in a physical way, but who knows? I'm interested to see how that goes. But I think what he's trying to do is set this whole thing up into a Kobayashi Maru scenario, where on the one hand, if you have all these supernatural forces that are looking to either save or destroy humanity, well, what happens if there's no humanity left? Like there's no typical humanity, right? It's just Devilmen. There's just people that are corrupted. There's just flawed people out there. What I think it is that's essentially what Rio's deal is with Akira, is that he's the template. He's basically this will be my new humanity that I will rule. Like will be like you were saying, those that have both the demon and the human. And while they might in some ways it's not really much of a change for humanity in that respect.
It's just a manifestation of what was always on the inside kind of thing.
Right. But there might be also some things being pointed at the fact that at some point, though, they surrendered. At some point, they were exposed to enough darkness that they assumed this form. They're no longer just human.
So then it could be
Rio wins. Route. Well, no, I'm just saying that in that case, then Rio would win. Because either they all get wiped out.
Well, or, and again, it goes back to the whole no one's perfect thing. Right, because
Right, so if we're bringing like God and devil and all that into this, do you see this as being a judgment ending, a destruction ending or a as of yet unknown third option.
Well, because the whole idea of God judging humanity and stuff, or some being
some cataclysmic apocalyptic event like that.
That's nothing new. Like not just in like religious texts and stuff, but in stories as well, where they'll bring something like that up. And usually the conclusion that is brought to, if a conclusion is reached, right? Because oftentimes it's just not reached, right? And it's sort of like think about it,
Right.
But if a conclusion is reached, usually it's an idea that basically just what we've been talking about, right? Of bad and the good both go hand in hand, and that's how each one has value,
right? And that's what the Devilmen represent,
right? Now that doesn't change anything from humanity's perspective, really, because it's just because when you think about it, like the idea of like weight to badness, like and like the evil inside all of us compared to a being like God, and compared to anything that's perfect, any amount of blemish is all equally like it's all tainted, right?
Right. That's the problem here.
So the difference between humanity and Devilmen, where it's something that's just made physically manifest, there isn't really any difference.
Probably not.
So the question then is, and this is one of the problems that you end up potentially getting into, is that in order for something like this to happen, it's almost like the status quo needs to change.
Well, it has.
It has. At the same time, with the concept of God, how would something change from the standpoint of God's perspective?
Well, I think it's that humanity is going to destroy itself.
Right. And if that's the case, then it could be something where maybe this is something that is done not in a sense of a judgment, but maybe as a way to save humanity, which would be weird.
We saw them got salted.
Right.
Jacob.
No, I know. Right. And the thing is, because in order for that to start happening, then it would never stop, right? In my mind, like it wouldn't make sense for that to ever happen.
I don't know. I don't think we have any grid for this. I feel like the idea that it would be a total bit there. I feel like things have to end in a conversation in this world here.
Yeah,
while we're having all these mechanical cause effect things happen because of the plan Rio set into motion, I feel like this act of God essentially is just that. It's mechanical. It's basically they were about to launch nukes and end it all. I'm going to launch basically end this whole thing before, I'm going to end the war before it even begins. And I'm going to basically, in some ways, this would be interesting to think about, but would humanity then react, because we covered so much ground in just this one episode, would humanity then react in a dramatic opposite way in response to this of like, oh my god, now aliens or God or something else out there is just something even more unknowable is out there basically saying, I'm gonna start making some decisions here, right? I'm gonna make my will known, and that because the idea that finite beings would be able to influence an infinite being seems kind of ridiculous in my mind. Like that there would never regardless of whatever happens, right? Because the gap between the two is so infinite, right, that it's incomprehensible, right? But I don't think this God that they're bringing up is infinite, just by the nature of that this happened,
possibly,
because otherwise it would have been this simplest, like Thanos snapped and we wouldn't have any story after this point. Or
the way that it could be something different is that it's not based on a change from the perspective of God. It's done as something in direct response to humanity to address a problem on the planet.
Right, but then you brought up the logic of, if that was the case and there's no difference between the status quo then, because the darkness in humanity has always existed.
No, I'm talking about that's in the case of a judgment case. But if it was, but like what you said of if it's something simply of, humanity's about to nuke itself into non-existence, right?
Right.
Then just doing something like that is a upset the established balance to basically shift focus. Like, that's pretty dang cold.
My own interpretation on that collapses under the logic of basically they were salted. Like, like it doesn't seem to be going in a way where it will end with humanity being saved. It seems like it's going to end up in a way where Rio and Akira will have a conversation, and there might be a third party involved in said conversation, and there might not be much else really involved in that. Like at that point, because this is going full Evangelion 3 episodes before the finale, or 2 episodes before the finale. So, like, if we assume 10th episode is the finale, like usually,
we got 3 episodes
usually
left,
you get the Gainax ending at the very last second. You know, this is not the last second for a show that's paced this way. It's way too early. It's way too early. That's why I assume basically we're going for the whole Rio is trying to force God's hand to do a thing because this God is someone that he could actually defeat.
Okay.
He could actually ascend and transform into that, that being.
Sure. Okay. I just had a thought.
Unless that was God.
So one of the issues with having God in stories is that it can detract from the main character, right? Because how do you have conflict if you have God? You're either screwed or you're saved. Like,
or you don't have a capital G God. You'd have a it's like it's like the Greeks. You just have like Olympus, and you have like 27 gods, and they're actually weaker than humans for the most part.
Right.
They need to be saved by humans.
Right. Given the fact that they're pulling this directly from the Bible.
Yeah.
It's okay. So
they're trying to go mythic here.
Right. Yeah. And so to basically pull out this thought, because it's not fully formed, is the idea that that Akira needs to be instrumental in resolving this. Right? Because he's the main character, right? He needs to play his part, whatever that is.
I mean, it's kind of a dual main character thing at this point. Like
sure,
him and Rio haven't even come to blows yet. Like,
yeah. So, but with the whole thing with, okay. Oh, so
you're basically thinking like, okay, when the final conversation happens, what's the agency that Akira has?
Right.
To
Exactly.
Actually do something of merit.
Right. And what I'm thinking is that because usually when the concept of God is brought up, it's also the question of a being like that being incredibly cold, because different existences and stuff. So they'll do things, and then humanity will be like, hey, you forget about the little guy.
Right. Usually God doesn't act in any kind of story that they're involved in.
Right. And exactly. The fact that this happened here, in my mind, it's either judgment or it's not. Right.
Astute observation. Yeah.
Right. I know. So if it's judgment, well then, story's over. They're all screwed anyways. Right. Because they could try and go the angle of like trying to change God's mind or whatever, but I don't think that would end up happening. If it's not, then what it could be is it's something that's just done in a very cold fashion of this is how humanity will end up actually in a physical sense being saved because blah blah blah. And then the thing that Akira could bring up is the whole thing of those people were salted. What's wrong with you? That's all I can think of. Like,
I already went through that but 10-20 minutes ago. Like obviously we're coming into a situation where it's not exactly clear why this happened.
Right.
But we can look back at specifically what happened before that. There were demons at the head of a fleet with nukes.
Yep.
They were firing their nukes. They were demons, not devilmen. They were specifically trying to destroy the world.
Right.
Like, and aren't demons at the behest of their head demon? You know? So, the fallen angel Lucifer, like, isn't Rio? Like, isn't this basically then all according to Cake? Like, like, this is all, I would say it comes down to a thing of whether or not this is basically Rio consciously aware that, you're the devil, which I believe he is.
Yeah, I think at this point,
But he's also crazy, or he's just revealing his truer self. And in some ways is maybe becoming aware that, that's why I did all this. Because they did say in their little reading of the Bible there that the devil was hidden away in a body, basically insinuating, hello, it's me, Rio. AKA
right.
Big man Satan.
Exactly.
Like,
as if this bringing that up while at the same time, like right after the whole 666 over the elevator.
It's it's obvious.
Right.
I just don't know if they're going for the angle of Rio being aware or not, because that does change a lot of the things that happen in the future.
And if he's not, then what is it that he wants? Because he seems to be wanting.
He's forcing God's hand. If he's not aware.
If he's not aware.
Oh, if he's not aware.
Because if he's not aware, then it seems like he's trying to set up a world where devils rule over humans, right?
I think he's,
that still seems like something that would just be like, okay, yeah, so you are aware.
I think if that was the case, what it is that he still has his nature, and his nature would lead him towards similar conclusions that, his true self would, be all about. So I think what he basically came to is that I'm not human. I don't feel connected to these people at all. These people have so many problems with them. So what I am going to do is I am going to acquire power. I'm going to acquire influence. I'm going to acquire the means by which I can hit the big reset button on humanity, because things are just really bad. And he sees himself as someone who's able to usher that in because he doesn't feel empathy. He has no connection in his heart and mind to humans. But now he basically sees this whole thing starting to take place, and he goes, wait a minute. I've acquired all this knowledge over the course of my life, learning so much about humanity. And he's like, in the Bible, and he's realizing, is that what I am? Is that who I am? I would love to find out basically that the thing that makes Akira have the agency is that he was sent there with Rio. And it's that specifically Rio, who is like the fallen archangel Lucifer whole thing there, is just like, I have to grow up and do all this stuff here and things like that. And he has this connection to Akira for some reason. They have a love for each other. They have a brotherhood. And yet Akira could end up being basically the subtle, kind of hidden weapon of Rio's undoing by just being there and maybe actually reaching out and touching the heart of Rio. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to go that route, because I think okay, because one of the endings I see here that I would say is a little bit more depressing is basically that the Devilmen are going to be the last remnants of humanity. Okay, like, that's going to be it. That's going to be it. They're the ones that will survive. But because, and this is a weird way of looking at it, but because that white divine nuke basically only hit those with basically the corrupted heart, and the good heart is basically the saving thing.
Oh sure, yeah, maybe, yeah, that's a good point.
It's not about whether or not there are any. It's just, if there are any, they'll live. If there aren't, then y'all will be dead.
That would be interesting if that was something where it's like, this is a selective nuke,
I mean, yeah, the one that we saw get salted was someone in a helicopter. Yeah. And it wasn't clear really anything about them, but maybe there was some kind of individual judgment thing going on there or something like that. I just can't really. Yeah. Every time I think about it, the nuke thing, the divine nuke thing, has to be judgment. I just can't see it as anything else.
Exactly, because anytime you're dealing with like an all-powerful being, there's certain questions that it raises whenever they do something, because it should always be exactly what they want to happen or what they want to do, because there's no limit on what they can do. Right.
Again, I think I'm not trying to just undermine your idea. I just don't think they necessarily have to have this god be necessarily infinite, like, because then it removes the story aspect of how Rio even has anything that he can do in this conflict.
Okay. We can agree to disagree on that.
Okay, sure, for sure.
Yeah,
because I think it's possible. I just think it's a little bit of a leap, considering that the whole Earth wasn't instantly hit right there. Because if they wanted to Like,
right. And the reason for that is because, but you could also make the argument that, if you have an all-powerful being, then they wouldn't value anything that they can do themselves because they can do anything they want anyways.
Okay.
So the fact that there would be any judgment that would need to happen meant that they didn't do it before because they didn't want to do it before. And the only reason they would not want to do it before, if they cared about that sort of thing, is if they were interested in what humanity would do, right? In what something other than them would do.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. God, trying to understand and characterize a being with near infinite, understanding and perception and power and all that just really falls apart, because every time in anime they have a being ascend to becoming God, we almost laugh at them because they showcase almost even more so their lack of godlike, capacity and perspective and all that. And when we try to kind of analyze and interpret what would an infinite being like that, be like, it falls apart underneath its own kind of limited perspective, and
it's trying to observe something in a higher dimension than what we have. It's
right. That's why I'm trying to avoid those topics of discussion, because I can't do that.
Like they literally just brought up
I know
the world just got God nuked.
Yeah, but like there's even a couple assumptions being made there that are technically not necessarily right. That could have been an angel. That could have not been an actual that could have not been God. There could be no God.
I mean, the Bible verses they brought up did seem to suggest that, but yeah, totally, yeah.
Right. So there's a couple assumptions being made that I am thinking will be almost immediately answered in the next episode.
Probably.
So it's a little bit kind of tricky to discuss things like that when they're going to be answered probably really soon,
especially since we're discussing a concept, but this is an artistic perspective on that concept. So then there's that as well,
right? And I feel like the artistic expression of that concept is one where this is a judgment. I don't know why it's there or anything like that. I know it has something to do to be connected to God, the divine, as you will, which is something that I thought was really pointed as he was going to his Twitter, and he's all like, you could call this divine judgment. Like he literally was posting that on Twitter before Akira came in.
Well, and I love that he said this war is divine judgment, blah blah blah.
Yeah, I think he has a sentence before that where he says this is unlike any other war we've fought. But you could say it's divine judgment or something like that.
But the in the sentence where he talks about it being divine judgment, it was like, this war is divine, and then he pauses and then he finishes it, which I just think is I feel like that's just another nod at the whole thing of him being the devil, because
Sure. Oh, okay. Well, Taro has been separated from the family. Miki is under the protection of Akira, which hopefully works out well, because the opening doesn't really lead us to hope for anything good to come of Miki.
And just, the show up till this point, a whole lot of bad things have been happening to people, so.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, it's not really consequences to the people that we know and care about.
Sure,
in fact, this is the first time I would say it's happened to those that have names that we actually have, kind of come to care about as
right, the people where it's the no, nothing to these people, please.
And the other ones are just all people that are either demons or
people that are introduced for one episode, more or less,
or people that are introduced basically to die.
And
that's been something that I've kind of been curious about, because the themes of this show seem to be humanity is disgusting. We're a pretty gross, messed up species. We're pretty nasty here. Now they're thinking up this whole thing of now that we've gone this far and we're about to just destroy ourselves, Rio's cackling like a big bad evil guy in a D&D campaign, just all of humanity will be destroyed. I'm counting on, utter annihilation and stuff. But then he sees utter annihilation in a localized area from something that wasn't him, and he just his head breaks. I am so excited to see what comes next. It's going to be absolutely insane.
Will we get a big echoey voice in the sky, or will it be Rio like being like, okay, shift of plans or something, or I don't know. And how will Akira and everybody handle this?
I would love to see that form in the opening being used by someone.
It's going to be Rio, though.
Well,
right?
the thing is it could be Rio, and I think that makes sense.
The avatar of God.
Yeah, I think it could also be the incarnation of God. It could be some,
Sure.
Some other angel.
Yeah.
That also might be the thing that's kind of the holding back bit for Rio, is that Rio doesn't get any final form or something like that.
Oh.
He's in a fallen body. He's in a human body.
Sure.
But he has no
Powers been
heart.
stripped away, kind of a thing.
Right, but that's the thing that separates him from Akira, is that he has a human body, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he knows he can probably use it to the fullest extent of a human body, but he probably has no heart, because he probably like still retains his, it'd be basically like an angel that got its wings clipped,
Right. Uh-huh.
He was basically just, you're done, like get out of here.
Right.
So he's been here like doing all this and stuff. But I think if he had some final form or something like that, there's a lot of places where I think he could benefit from maybe using it, especially if he has any desire to be the god of this new world, which it doesn't seem like he's either thought that far ahead or
he has a very specific new world that he wants to be god over.
And he's fine with it getting, divine nuked
right
in the process.
Yeah.
So here we are. Mm-hmm. Guys, I can't believe that when we were watching the show in the beginning, we were thinking on such small scale.
Oh boy.
Now we're here, and we didn't even talk about all the crazy good stuff happening.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of awesome stuff that happened. I'm glad that Mickey was saved by the other folks. Yeah. It was great.
Koda's okay.
Mm-hmm. Koda's okay.
Nico and him met. Okay.
Yep.
That's good.
Yep.
Yeah. Akira confronted Rio.
Yeah, even though they were interrupted. But oh wow.
But,
oh
I
boy.
guess we're just gonna call it here. We had a crazy discussion here. Thank you so much for watching the entirety of it, if you are one of those few. But if you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. Any level support gets you access to our Discord, where you can chat with us about these stories. I mean, non-spoilery, of course.
Right.
Just talk about the madness that's going on here, or just hang out in general and chat about whatever. And if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.